The storm hit Sichuan with no warning, turning an ordinary afternoon into a scene of chaos that left residents stunned by how quickly the sky could shift from calm to catastrophe. One moment the sun still touched the streets, the next the light dimmed under a blanket of gray. People were working, shopping, talking to neighbors, unaware that the first pieces of ice were already falling. Emergency alerts came, but too late to matter. By the time phones buzzed in pockets and purses, the destruction had already begun. In Sichuan County, the first sound was a faint tapping, something like pebbles hitting rooftops. Then the sky opened, and the hail began to slam down in sheets. Ice stones, some as large as rice balls, hammered the streets with enough force to dent metal and shatter glass. Within minutes, roads vanished under thick layers of white. Cars skidded helplessly while buses ground to a halt. People sprinted into doorways as awnings collapsed under the weight of the accumulating ice. It was not a winter storm, but it froze the entire city in place. Residents captured videos showing rivers of melting hail carving paths through the streets. Water and ice flowed together, flooding sidewalks and swallowing drains. The scenes resembled a sudden snowstorm in July, an impossible mix of seasons brought on by an atmosphere spinning out of balance. Nearby villages fared no better. Streets disappeared beneath muddy water. Parked cars drifted in slow circles, carried by currents that rose higher with every passing minute. Homes stood half submerged, powerless and silent, their windows dark as nightfall approached. Throughout several districts, power lines collapsed from the combined assault of wind, ice, and flooding. Transformers popped in the distance like muffled fireworks. Some neighborhoods never regained electricity that night. Repair crews worked without pause, yet the extent of the damage was too wide, too scattered, too overwhelming for quick recovery. For small businesses, the losses mounted before anyone could react. Glass storefronts cracked and fell inward. Roofs leaked in steady streams. Markets lost an entire day's produce in minutes. Vegetables washed away, fruit bruised beyond recognition, meat soaked in filthy runoff. Shopkeepers swept shattered glass while hail still pounded the streets outside, their livelihoods bleeding away with the stormwater rushing beneath their feet. Farmland suffered most of all. Fields that had taken months to grow were destroyed in less than an hour. Vegetables flattened, fruit trees split open, tea plantations shredded. Branches lay scattered across the soil, like splinters of green and brown. By the time morning came and officials surveyed the wreckage, the early estimates already pointed towards severe financial loss. Some farms might recover in weeks. Others would need a year, maybe more, before they could grow again. For many in Sichuan, the devastation sparked memories of earlier disasters. They recalled Ziyang in 2022, when an unexpected storm cut power to 400,000 homes and cracked buildings across entire towns. They remembered Wan City in 2012, where hailstones the size of eggs destroyed more than 12,000 homes and injured hundreds of thousands. These storms are not new, but each one seems to strike harder and faster than the last. Experts warn that Sichuan's geography makes it especially vulnerable. Mountain winds collide with sudden temperature swings and pockets of humid air, creating violent storms that form rapidly and travel unpredictably. August and September are historically the most dangerous months, and each year the risk rises as the region faces increasingly unstable climate patterns. In Sichuan, this month's storm did more than freeze the landscape. It drowned it. Drains clogged instantly under the weight of the ice, causing melting hail to mix with torrential rain. Water surged through markets and alleyways, sweeping away crates, baskets, and anything left outside. Emergency crews moved quickly, clearing fallen trees, reconnecting power lines, and distributing tarps to families whose roofs had been torn apart. Volunteers went door to door checking on residents, offering food, water, or simply reassurance. But even with rapid response, some realities cannot be softened. Nature moves faster than warnings, and storms like this always leave behind more questions than answers. Communities across the region have begun gathering supplies, reinforcing homes, and preparing shelters, as experts warn that more storms may hit before the end of the month. The damage left behind is a reminder not only of the physical power of nature, but of how fragile modern infrastructure becomes when weather patterns grow more extreme. The storm that tore through Sichuan destroyed buildings, crops, and markets, but it also exposed a deeper vulnerability, one shared by cities everywhere. Climate volatility is rising. Early warning systems still lag behind, and the gap between the first sign of danger and irreversible destruction is shrinking. For those watching from afar, the lesson is clear. Disasters no longer unfold slowly, and communities must prepare long before the sky turns gray. In Sichuan, families are cleaning debris, rebuilding damaged homes, and hoping the next storm chooses a different path. But hope alone is not enough. This was not just another weather event. It was a warning, carved in ice and floodwater, that the pace of change is accelerating, and preparedness may be the only shield we have left.